Hi, I'm Father Anthony Hannon from Enviam Patches, and this is To Prepare His Way. I'm up here at the top of one of the many hills in Vickers Woods. When I was a young boy, when I was in grade school, we used to play a game called King of the Hill. So if there's a big snow pile or something, someone would get on top of it. I'm the king of the hill. I'm the king of the hill. And then everyone would try to get him off, push him off. And then that person's the king of the hill. Now, when you're on the top of the hill, it's harder to knock you down. So you always have an advantage. You have the height advantage. And but if someone came up the front and someone came up the rear and someone came up the side, then yeah, he's not going to stay up there for too long. Someone's going to knock him off. Anyway, it was a fun, rough and tough game for little boys and some girls, I guess. And I thought that maybe in this video I'd like to try to empower you to be have a better advantage, better vantage point, we might say, in your battle with life, and especially with the thing that we're all experiencing these days with the overreaching measures of governments and the kind of the Twilight Zone that we're living in when we go out shopping or out on the streets in the city and see everyone covering their faces as though they were burglars or something, disguising their identity. But yeah, so I guess the first message is that each of us has more power than we think. Because I think that we all have power that we're not using. And we're looking at certain things these days from the position of, we're down at the bottom of the hill and this cannot be overcome. And we're it's kind of frustrating, and we're kind of getting bullied in some ways. We don't have power over others. We shouldn't have power over others in terms of trying to control others or anything like that. But much of our unhappiness comes from trying to control those things that we have no power over. So, but what is within our power? Well, we have our own thoughts and our own actions. We can choose to say things. We can choose to do things or not do things. So here again, I draw on my knowledge and experience of dysfunctional systems and codependency. And I'd like to say that codependents are enablers. They often think, though, that they're doing a good thing. They're trying to do a good thing, but they don't realize how they're part of the problem as they try to control things. So that's kind of the first thing. So enablers of evil do not intend that evil. They actually intend the good. Most of us have been acting in very codependent ways, either through measures at trying to control others or by complying to the demands of others. Codependency has that kind of two sides to it. Overbearing control sometimes, or manipulative control, and also compliance and not having one's own will, in a way, one's own desires. And recovery from codependency, one of the first things that one needs to practice is to say no. And to some extent, maybe all of us are enabling some bullies. And so I'm thinking again back to my childhood, a little bit older than grade school, and I was picked on like, it's probably the experience of perhaps most people in one way or another. And I remember this one guy who grew a lot faster than I was. I was kind of small and smart, and I'm going to look back and say I was good looking too. Anyway, so I was picked on a bit. And this one guy, he grew very fast, eh? So I remember he came up to me one time and said, "Hannon, you're going to do this assignment for me. Hannon." And he'd show up, unbelievably, he'd show up at my house in the morning, eh? Looking for the homework that I was supposed to have done for him. Now, I might have done it once or twice, eh? But, life gets in the way and I couldn't keep doing it. So guess what happened when I stopped doing his homework? He stopped bullying me. The way to stop a bully, you don't have to go and challenge the bully to a fight. All you have to do is stop doing what the bully is demanding you to do. Nowadays, I think we're all being bullied. And what we have to do to stop being bullied is to stop giving in to the demands. So the most obvious thing to me in my area is the wearing of face coverings and masks. Where there is allowance in the orders, and while we still have rule of law, there is exemptions. And actually, everyone is exempt. You just have to have enough self-respect to be able to say, I'm exempt. And, I was on IKEA the other day, and one lady said, boy, I can't wait to get this mask off. It's so hot. And I said, well, if it's causing you difficulty to breathe, then you don't have to wear it. All you have to do is say you're exempt. And then she said, but anyone can say that. And I said, that's right. I didn't say anything else, but that's right. If you don't want to wear the mask, you have to learn how to say, no, I'm not wearing the mask. And just simple. And you don't even have to say it. You just have to do it. Don't bring a mask into the store. And if someone says you need to wear a mask, you just say, I'm exempt. In Ontario here, province-wide, the exemptions include any violations against the Code of Human Rights. Well, guess what? That includes creed and conscience rights. And wearing a mask is against my religion. It's against my belief system. So that's why I don't wear a mask. Now, will it come a point where someone has to wear a mask, get into the store, get past a checkpoint on the highway or something? Yeah, maybe. And, then someone can use their own judgment. Whether I'm going to do this or not, go undercover for a little bit. I think that masks should be illegal. It should be illegal to conceal your identity in public. It used to be that way. I think that's still the laws on the actual law in the books. Everyone who wears a mask in public is enabling criminals to lurk about, concealing their identity, to commit a crime when it's opportune for them. So just think about that. You think you're doing a good thing. You think you're showing everyone how much you care about them. But actually, you're making everyone vulnerable. You're an enabler. And that's why I want to encourage everyone to just stop wearing masks, period. Now, I'm going to talk about religious stuff because I'm a Catholic priest. And if you go to Mass wearing a mask, you are enabling. You're enabling a bully. Now, there's different levels of bullies, and I would say, the biggest bully in Canada is the one who holds the top position. Now, I think he is a bit of a puppet, but that would be the Prime Minister. And in the provinces, it's the premiers. And in the municipalities, it's the mayors. These and the health officers who are making these unreasonable and illogical orders. Oh, they have reasoning to it. It's just that they don't stand up to the facts and to the data. So if you go to Mass wearing a mask, you're an enabler. Now, if you are at the door telling people they need to wear a mask, they need to sign in, they need to use hand sanitizer, they need to get their temperature taken or whatever, you are an enabler. You're enabling a bully. Who is the bully in this case? Well, you're actually a bit of a bully and an enabler of the priest. If the priest asked you, can you please do this task and enforce these protocols, and you say yes, you're an enabler. And what you need to do is say, no, I'm not going to try to control my fellow parishioners like that. Okay? Now, if you want to, if you're eager to sign people in and to make sure people's wearing masks and give people a hard time and take the temperature of people, well, then you've got bigger problems of being an enabler. You have serious control issues. No one should want to control another human being like that. Those persons at the door are bullies. but they're also enablers. Who are they enabling? They're enabling the priest, who is saying that we have to have these protocols. And if a priest is wearing a mask and is carrying out these protocols, which are not his protocols in most cases, he's also an enabler. And who's he enabling? He's enabling the bishop to be a bully. And I don't think the bishops want to be a bully, but the bishops were chosen amongst priests, from priests who get along with people, and they work well within systems, and they're in positions of authority, and they want others to listen to them, so they listen to the civil authorities. But they really don't have it in them to confront. We expect the bishops to be these heroes, but they weren't chosen to be bishops because they're heroes. It's not part of their personality. I mean, I think if they dig down deep, they could learn how to say no and fight, but it's really, they've got years and years of practice being codependents and enablers. And who are they enabling? Well, they're enabling the mayors, the health department, the premiers, the prime ministers, the presidents, whoever, they see, whoever the bully is above them. Anyway, you do have the power. We don't have power over others. I can't stop a bully being a bully, but I can choose to say no. And I can choose to be happy. And I can choose to, be friendly and loving and smiling at people and shake their hands and give them hugs. I mean, if they want, I wouldn't force myself on somebody. And unless it was in a hospital setting where I'm visiting someone, in the old normal, or if I'm sanding drywall or working with wood or something like that, yeah, I'm not wearing a mask. But I say this: I have my choices. Just like I had to choose when I was younger that I didn't want to hang around anyone if they were intoxicated. And that was a big choice for me when I was 22 years old, but I made that choice, and I don't regret it. And it doesn't mean I can't be around people that drink, but if someone's intoxicated, I don't have to do that. I don't have to get in a car with someone who's intoxicated. I don't need to hang out with someone like that. And I don't need to hang out with people who are cursing and swearing either, or have negative attitudes about everything. I don't need to do that. I have my choices. I have that power. So I hope this video helps you. Oh yeah, and kind of relating to that King of the Hill story. When I was a teenager, I used to go to rock concerts and stuff like this. And I remember going into Ottawa in the Ottawa Civic Center where the Ottawa 67s play hockey. And now, when I was a teenager, that was in the late 70s and, into the early 80s. And in those days, most places people could smoke in, but you could not smoke in the Civic Center. And so I'd be at these concerts, the first concert I went to, and it's like, hey, how come people are smoking in here? And, not everything was tobacco, if you know what I mean. And so, I mean, it was just, I don't know if I figured it out or someone told me, well, there's too many people for them to enforce it. There you go. There you go, folks. Cunning as serpents, innocent as doves. Stop being enablers, and all of this will end. But in the meantime, I can't control you or anybody else. So I'm going to live free, breathing in the fresh air without a mask. And I hope you can find that freedom too. May Almighty God bless you in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.